And let the stream catch up. Hello! It's time for another chill and chat. And today I am lucky to have DuskFlare. Say hello, DuskFlare. That works. I have the long unicorn called Caila Del Rose. Say hello.
Hello.
and we have the adorable popper who can do whatever he wants to. Aeon of Dreams. Say hello.
No. Hi.
Today
How is everyone?
Right there.
No, I was just saying, hope everyone's good.
Well, I'm good. Are you guys good?
Yes.
I was spending most of the afternoon with Aeon, so yes.
Ah.
I had to work like a normal person.
Hey, it's not my fault the city is shut down.
I'm just glad it's my weekend.
I mean, do you at least get unemployment and get to lounge around and be paid to look pretty?
No, I just look pretty all the time, darling.
You both do, though. Love you guys.
Only one problem. They're getting off the ground because they're holding
Love
up
you
an
too,
audio
Caila.
word. So
Yes. It's a very lovely. I should probably have taken like a romantic dinner type of restaurant setting instead of just a Rainbow Factory. Rainbow Weather Factory.
Rainbow Factory, yes. Absolutely,
Yes,
the
we
Rainbow
all just-
Factory.
Yes.
My vote is that you make the picture later and put it up on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't have any I don't have vectors yet, so I don't know where I would be.
It's just an Olive Garden. We just stuff a bunch of breadsticks into our bag and then just run away.
Why do I want to see that
the good old
animation?
days.
I would like to see that as an animation, like all four of us, just me and Dusk flying away, and you and Rose just like bye teleporting.
Oh, I don't fly.
You honestly don't even need to do that anymore. Nowadays, they understand, especially if you get like unlimited breadsticks and salad. It's like, may I please have a to-go bag and 3 bags of breadsticks? I get away with that all the time.
You will never have to shop for breadsticks again.
I mean, Olive Gardens are pretty
Just
nice.
freeze them.
Yeah, Olive Gardens are pretty nice. Not gonna lie, I like to eat it with the soup.
Oh, don't get me started on the gnocchi. It is my weakness.
I like their zuppa. I love how the opening of this chill and chat is just us talking about Olive Garden.
And food.
Yeah.
Now sponsored.
Oh,
And I'm not one who I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
Chris.
No.
They're going to be the new sponsors after Amazon.
No.
It's okay. Sugar Daddy Bezos bought Olive Garden to sponsor them.
totally not looking for that year subscription of peach tea.
The thing is, most things in Olive Garden I can't eat anyway, so that's kind of wasted.
Wait, why not?
What?
It's like salad.
Yeah, like salad is okay, but that's usually like drowned in oil, so it tastes just oil. You don't taste any of the
Oh,
vegetables.
so it's not that you can't eat it, it's that you don't
so
want
much
to.
oil.
Well, if
You-
I eat too much oil, I'm starting to puke, so
Oh, don't do that.
yeah.
Yeah, please don't puke.
So,
Yeah, don't do that.
yeah.
Please do not do that.
Must
So-
take care of the Chris.
Must take care of my friends as well. So,
Yeah.
I hope...
No, I was saying I get the same way with grease. If something is too greasy, it hurts.
Same.
So, as far as I know, Olive Garden is a lot bigger in America than, Norway. I think we have like 2. One in Oslo and one here in Stavanger. Maybe one in Bergen. But it's like a really small one.
Oh, they're bigger over here, and there's more of them. So within my radius, there's probably like 3 of them. But the towns in Kansas City are so close together. You traveled 10 minutes down the road, you're in the next city.
That sounds nice. Like here you have to drive for like 40 minutes an hour until you get to the next town.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, there are like some places in the States that I've been to that are kind of like that, but most places are set up, are like connected by the interstates, which are literally just straight lines. Like, if they can get away with making them, these like the highway system like a straight line, they did. So, that's one of the reasons why traveling the cities is faster, because we divided them all into blocks, unless you're Boston. Boston's pretty though, so it can stay that way.
Boston is excused because it's pretty.
Yes. Nice.
There's a comment to be made there, but I won't.
Thank you. Like, as always, these streams are safe for family, so safe for Chris.
Yeah. I respect that.
Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yes. We want the Chris to be happy.
I like happy Chris.
And I like happy friends. So
Yay!
Yeah, like I usually do in the start of these streams, except for going on about the random stuff that we talk about in the first part, is, well, we already have heard Dusk's backstory and how she made her OC. We have heard Aeon's, but we have not heard Rose's. I switch between calling you Caila and calling you Rose. I don't know why.
So, the name that I usually go by on the internet is Caila, but it is a running gag at this point that hardly anyone knows how how anyone knows how to pronounce my name. So you'll find that if you go watch like some of the Senate streams, they'll call me Cadelia, and I'm like, how?
I know that one.
Does you get that? How do you get that? How do you get that?
I've heard people call you Cadella.
Oh my goodness! And if you go and talk to Rouge, she'll call me Calypso.
Okay.
How did you even get that?
She's a Greek pagan, so maybe she thought, "Oh, you're pagan too." I don't know.
No.
I'm not.
No, it's not that.
I'm just being silly, Rouge.
It's hilarious. Dusk has made a comic about this. It's really, really funny. It's like, no one can pronounce my name. Oh, so bad for you, Kaleidoscope.
What? Yeah, because when I have tried to read your name in the Discord server and actually read the whole name, for me it comes out as Caila Del Rose.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is the proper way to spell it, and I really should put up more often. Fluff did a really good icon picture for me that broke it down into parts where people could actually read it instead of it all being one word, so I should really use that more often. But my character's name is Desert Rose, so that's where you get Rose from. So you can either call me Caila or you can call me Rose, whichever one works.
So no matter what I say, I'm safe.
Yes, so long as it's not Kaleidoscope or
Cadella
Cadelia or Caila Del Rio.
You know, Caila, just for spite, I'm just going to call you Kaleidoscope.
Oh no. Okay. Yes. Well, I mean, if you're just at least referring to my sparkly, sparkly horn.
Well, of course.
Oh.
And your sparkling personality.
Oh, it's so sparkling.
Juice.
Also, ooh, sparkle.
Yeah, I was actually thinking you were going to say eyes. Eyes shiny.
Eyes.
Remember Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, the girl with kaleidoscope eyes?
Yes. Absolutely, I do remember that. That was from a comedy short.
Didn't the Beatles sing that?
Yeah.
Well, it's the girl with with kaleidoscope eyes. Sorry.
No worries.
There was a comedy thing that also sort of switched it in my brain. Never mind. Go ahead. My head is a weird place.
Your head is a lovely place. A lot of your heads are nice places.
So
at least
place.
I like visiting it a lot. I also like visiting all. Yeah, I like visiting all your guys a lot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Especially when you, especially seeing what you guys make in your artwork too.
Yes. But backstory wise, So I've told some people the full story altogether, but I feel like on this stream I will only tell certain parts.
Yeah, that's fair. You tell
not
whatever
the full
you feel
thing, so people have something to look forward to later.
You tell what you feel comfortable with. It's just mainly like so we get a feeling of what type of character she is, where she comes from. And I also want to ask afterwards, like, how did you end up with the design that you are now? But we will take that afterwards.
Oh goodness. Okay. So we first start off with Rose's father is one of the adoptive sons of Princess Celestia.
Ooh.
It is in the universe canon of my story that Celestia never actually got married. She just adopted children, and those children had children, and down and down and down the line over 1,000 years. So, very removed. Rose's father is one of Celestia's great-grandchildren.
Spring.
And in soon to becoming one of the High Lords, he traveled over to Saddle Arabia, where colonies had been set up. Where colonies had been set up, where other ponies had started to make more of a civilization over there. So they have branched out from Equestria over into Saddle Arabia as well, starting to live in different climates. And where he met and had a one-time fling with Rose's mom, who eventually made her own apple and fig farm. And that's where she raised Rose for a really long time. By the time things had gotten around that she was pregnant, she wrote to Rose's father and said that she knew that he was going to be married to someone else soon, but didn't want to interfere too much with the marriage by having an illegitimate child. So that if he could just help out financially, she wouldn't cause any problems. So that's what he did, but then he changed his mind. He really wanted to get to know his child. And so he sent someone to go and look out for Rose, who is played by the part of Rose's aunt, Mule. So you'll see Jane, who is a mule, and she was designed really pretty. I really need to put some more artwork up of all these characters, honestly. So Rose spent a lot of her years in Saddle Arabia, where she grew up with her grandmother, her mother, and her Aunt Jane. And she signed up to do medical and herbology work with one of the herbalists in the village named Mr. Basil. And it's a running gag that Rose's grandmother constantly chases after Mr. Basil because she's in love with him. but he's not infatuated with her.
That's fair. And sorry to take a break in the story, but the final site, as you remember, Aeon and Dusk, has a habit of doing visual work on my OC.
Oh no.
Yoda. I'm just gonna call this one Olive.
Oh my.
Yada. Yes. Jada. Det är flott det. There you go.
Nice. Final Sight, I highly approve.
Thank you, Final Sight. You have now updated the sponsorship contract.
Hashtag blessed.
Amazon Olive Garden is a go. Crits recommends the breadsticks according to this ad.
I don't. I can't even eat them. I can't have gluten. Hey, Mad Munchkin.
Hello.
We have somebody.
Hoi, Maddie.
Maddie.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm not half willing to you. I'm half willing to Final Sight's newest creation. But yeah.
I think it is gorgeous and brilliant.
It is an accurate representation of business.
It is the business side of Chris.
There is no I in business.
There
is-
are multiple.
there isn't?
The multiple.
No, I'm quoting internet historian.
Except for the fan art, Maddie, I'm just fine. Thank you very much. And I hope the others are feeling fine as well and enjoying the.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm
Always.
excited to be here too. Same.
Yes, very excited to be here.
Yay!
We get to be apparently in the Rainbow Factory.
Yes.
And I am wanting to dump some. What's it called again?
Cloud?
Yeah, thank you.
Rainbow juice.
Both. Into
Rainbow
the...
juice.
Remember, it's spicy.
It's everything, I think. Judging on Pinkie Pie's reaction, I think that's every flavor. So let's put some cotton candy in it.
Whoa.
Spicy cotton candy.
What can I say? Except you're welcome.
I mean, sriracha cotton candy would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
Caila, are you able to read the stream?
Yes, I am.
Apparently your name is Kachenka.
I was laughing at that earlier.
Wait, Maddie, you're 1 hour behind me. What are you doing up this late? Sweetie.
Her sleep schedule is messed up.
Aw,
What's your
poor
sleep schedule? Sounds delicious.
Ooh, right?
No, like, what?
And final sight. I could not find a Save for Chris picture from the Rainbow Factory to put Chris in.
That's fine.
I thought it was called the Weather Factory.
No, Chris. Stop. This
In
is
the Rainbow Factory.
leave it alone. Trust me.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you.
In the Rainbow Factory.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We need to get back on track. The backstory.
Yeah, so Rose studies with Mr. Basil for about 10 years until he dies off screen because in the story he is very, very old.
Okay.
And that is the catalyst for her wanting to go and study to become a healer. And so
Ooh.
her family raises enough money for her to go to Canterlot.
Yay.
Meanwhile, Jane has written to Rose's father and just like, she's coming to Canterlot. You need to be ready.
Dun dun dun.
If you want a relationship with your kid, now's the time.
This is your chance. Don't.
This is your chance.
Don't mess it up.
Do one shot.
So she comes to Canterlot and he comes in and chats with her and says he wants to be her sponsor and she has no idea who he is, but she's like, okay, I guess we'll see. So she stays with him and in the meantime she gets to meet, unbeknownst to her, her stepmother, who is very good at the biochemist arts. So she's
Ooh.
been working on a spell that has to do with breaking down things to the smallest atoms and rearranging them into something different. Which is why her OC has an atom as a cutie mark.
Ooh.
And then she also gets to meet her stepbrother, or no, her half-brother, Tenor, who is a musical genius. And in the story, he's able to convert any type of music and make it more pleasing for the chemicals in the brain.
Interesting.
I haven't fully worked that out yet.
I'm really curious about that one too.
I love Tenor. He's a sweet baby.
So the adorable little brother you never had? I don't know your sibling in real life, but you don't have to answer. But yeah.
In real life, I am the eldest of 6 half children. So Tenor is the
Ooh.
representation of all 5 of my siblings.
Cool.
Aw.
Compact. Nice.
Oh yeah, composite
Yes.
character in English.
Yes. Composite character. All my siblings were at one point a lot smarter than me. Now not so much.
Oopsie doopsie.
Oh,
You have
you-
become the master.
Only the girls.
It's over. I have the high ground.
Yep.
Well, she is the longest unicorn.
I am
Yes.
the high ground.
I am the high ground. I like it.
Awesome.
So eventually, she's studying at Canterlot, and one night she overhears her stepmother and her father speaking, and the truth comes out.
Dun, dun,
And
dun. Sorry.
the truth comes out, and she has no idea how to take all of this. Like, no, he didn't come right out and say it. He wasn't very honest. Everybody kept it like the truth from her for a couple of years while she was staying with them.
No.
And so she felt that she needed to have some space. So she moved out and she started traveling on her own and studying at different other places for folk remedies, where she meets up with her fiance, which some of you will know as Sori, but her pony name in the story is Storm Dancer, and she's an aspiring novelist. She's working on her first book, and she's traveling with a caravan for material.
Question.
So,
that's your real life fiance?
yes,
Or-
that is my real life fiance. I worked her into the story.
Ah, that's nice.
Sori is a great person too. Shout out to
Yes.
Sori.
Sori is so patient and loving.
And hilarious.
Didn't you send me a pony picture of you
I think
two
so at one
together?
point in time.
Is it okay if
does
I
not-
show that one?
Oh, go ahead.
Ska vi se, where did you come from? Where did you go? Found you.
You did that earlier today.
Yeah, in a Twitter GIF war thing.
Ska vi se, you go into Twitch OCs. I don't know how to type fiance. We say fiancé. That works.
Okay. Type it like that.
Fiance.
Fiancé.
She's not my fool. She's not my fiance. She's my fiance.
Started
Oh my
sounding
gosh.
French.
Oh my
Yeah, I know.
God.
It sounds like fake French. Fiance or Spanish.
Ole.
Ole.
Orle,
no.
fiance.
It's the love child of France and Spanish. It's
I mean, both romance
Spanish.
languages, so it makes sense.
It's Franish. There you go.
Franish.
It's Franish.
Orsk in the comments has the spelling correctly. Yes.
Woohoo!
When you were talking about a woman fiance, there's 2 E's.
Indeed.
Well done.
Ooh.
Ooh, fancy.
Thank you, Orsk.
Well done.
There we go. So cute. That's so pretty. Look at that.
My girlfriend is pleased.
Yeah.
Have a big
Very well
picture.
done.
Then I'm gonna make it smaller afterwards. So here we can also see your OC. C's cutie mark. I'm looking forward to hear how that came to be. Yeah.
We talking about the picture? I can't see it on the screen.
Oh, yeah, it's the picture of you and Sori hugging on the moon in space.
Oh, Cinna Sparks did such a good job with that.
Yes, what is your cutie mark?
What is my cutie mark?
Yeah, maybe she should finish the background because I think we're going to get a note there. But good question.
Yes.
So yeah, you met the lovely redhead and...
She stayed with Storm Dancer for a couple of years and they fell in love together. But Rose was ready to settle down. But Sori was still wanting to travel the world and get material for her book. So they made a promise to one another that they would be engaged. So they exchanged different pieces of jewelry. Rose received her tail ring, and Sori received droplet-styled earrings and an anklet. And so Rose was going to go out into the world and make a home for them. So when Sori was finally ready to settle down, she would have a home to come back to.
Aww.
Aww.
Yes. So, meanwhile, Rose meets up with her dad. They talk and they reconcile. And so they begin to have a better relationship. But Rose is still out on the road looking for a place. And it is on a train that she meets Aeon of Dreams.
Yes.
And I will not give the full details of that story because that is for a later time. But eventually... Yes. But eventually she makes the last stop at a mountain pass. And... that's where there is a rip in the universe that she goes through, and that's where she's able to enter through the rift. And it is on an asteroid in the rift where she makes her cottage and establishes the Green Lotus Spa, which is her business, and that is where the story ends for now.
Aww.
Interesting.
Yes.
Sounds nice. So, you never explained the cutie mark.
So my cutie mark, personally, is 3 gleaming stones. Each one representing a different type of healing. So you have the pink stone, which is a rose quartz. You have the white stone, which is a stylized desert rose stone.
Mm-hmm.
And the desert rose stones, when you actually look them up, look a bit more spikier. But I wanted to have it like a little more flower-like. And then the black stone, which a lot of people like to misinterpret for an Oreo, just because it has a highlight.
I'm not gonna lie,
It
yes.
does.
I'm so sorry.
Awesome.
It's just a highlight. It's a basalt stone.
It's the
meant
woman with an
for-
Oreo.
I first
Oh my
thought
gosh.
that it was what did they call them? The macarons? Because I know you like those
Oh.
too.
Macarons are so good. I just tried those
I
recently.
do. They're very yum.
I only just tried them a few weeks ago. I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
my god, they're so delicious.
They're so yum. But it is a basalt stone, which is great for hot stone therapy.
Ooh, nice.
Chris calls them crumbling sadness.
Yes, I do. They taste like crumbling sadness.
No!
Yes, they do.
Wait, wait. Are you talking about the ones with coconut, or you're talking about like the good ones?
We only have one type in Norway. I don't know which is which, but it doesn't say
Okay,
coconut on it.
Okay, because there's 2 like different kinds.
Okay, no. For me, sadly, Oreos taste like crumbling sadness because they have this taste of metal and I don't remember the other taste, but it basically crumbles and I just get sad eating them.
Aww.
So for me, they're crumbling sadness and they don't taste good at all.
Oh.
Hey, do you taste metal?
Yes, I taste metal in them. If you
I
ever
like
chewed,
crush-
chewed on any type of metal in your life, you know what I'm talking about.
It was making it. Oh yeah, those are the two types. Oh, the bottom ones are so good too.
I like the bottom ones dipped in chocolate.
Oh
See,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of
Or
the
with
bottom ones, but
coffee.
I will kill for the top ones.
Yeah, the top ones are amazing too.
Me too.
They're way better than I expected, because I expected it to be like something hard.
No, they're
And it's
so
like, no, it just breaks away with an ease that you never expect out of it.
melts in your mouth. So good. Sorry.
So
Especially
I
the top.
have
Those things.
so I have a very funny story considering the top cookie.
Okay, if you're gonna talk about it, I need to get it on
On stream.
Yes, that's the thingy. Let me see. Do I have that easy weasy papy wapy? Browser media. Where is my screen
Oh, no.
catchy? Screen catchy wetchy.
I love your criticisms.
Criticisms.
I'm gonna call them criticisms.
Window captured. That's the thing. I hope.
The language of Chris.
The language of Chris. You must be full
Stuffies.
Chris to understand her.
Okay, I think it works. I don't know. We will see. See in a few seconds when the stream catches up. No? Nah, well.
One sec. So what am I supposed? Yeah, I usually have to leave it on the Discord window because of how the push to talk works. But I see on the stream.
Okay. Display captured. That's the one. Thank you very much. Oro arigato.
Huzzah.
Mr. Roboto.
So you guys are
Oh
gonna
my
see-
god! It's a tunnel of forever.
Whee!
It's like being in a place with two mirrors facing
I
each
love
other.
this.
There
I
we
do
go.
too.
Here you can see the cookie they're talking about. The crumble. No, this is not crumbling sadness. This is the.
Macarons.
This is the sweet cousin, which is macarons.
Yes. Well, so here's the difference in English. If you see it in the Discord, there's the top photo is the macaron, and the bottom picture is the macaroon, and they're very, very different.
Yes, very.
This one looks.
The one on the
like-
bottom, yeah.
It kind of looks like you took cream and tried to deep fry it.
So it's basically coconut based snack.
Ugh.
Yeah, same.
I like coconut. It's just like pineapple. It overtakes all other flavors, so you can only taste the pineapple or the coconut. At least for me. So
Here it kind of like changes. Like last I remember having one, and keep in mind it was years ago. It almost makes it like cakey, which I actually kind of like.
okay.
It like changes the flavor's there, but it keeps the consistency. Or no, sorry, the flavor's there, but it changes the some of the texture of it outside of the shavings that are on it. It's pretty nice.
Oh my god, you have like a super neat and organized Discord.
Yeah, thank you.
Chris.
Like-
Yes.
You have like
That's like all
All in
organized. Mine is
folders.
a mess.
Mine is, yeah, I just basically like, if a channel becomes relevant again, I'll just drag it from whatever spot it's in out of 50. I don't even know why I'm in this many rooms. They all have new notification signs on them.
well, for me, I think I'm like 93 servers now.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's mostly related to voice work, but I have one folder that's just cons.
That's fine. Yeah, I need to get rid of most of the
Ace.
cons because I'm not part of any of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to sort through my rooms too.
It's just so that I know what they're related to and know how to find them.
One sec.
I hear
I
you.
only have a
watching.
limited number of rooms because if I'm not in it frequently, I will leave.
Yeah, that's basically what happened when you were kind enough to let me into that server or invite me into that server. I basically immediately left because I knew it was not going to be my scene and I was just going to be there like not even lurking. Just there's no point to me being there.
Yeah.
only in that room for the art stuff now, and I thought you would be in for the art stuff too. And the main reason I got you into that room was because of the art contest and the $100 prizes. So
And I highly appreciate it, but I just do not have the time for it. So
I
I'm not going to put my all into it.
understand.
Sarah Lockhart playing ACN. I can't pronounce English letters.
Playing
ACN.
ACNH right now. CNH. Actus?
For some reason, now I'm getting RSSPT. That's a song.
Oh, Animal Crossing, apparently.
Okay. That
How
makes more
does that
sense.
spell Animal Crossing?
It's an abbreviation for Animal Crossing New Horizon.
The
newest game.
Also good to see you again.
But yeah, if we're done talking about cookies, I can take away the display capture as you are named.
Yeah, I think we're
I
done.
have funny story about macrons.
Tell it.
Tell it. You have heard it before, Aeon, but I don't know if anybody else has. So I worked at a spa that was next to a Polish bakery for about a year and a half. And that was bad. That was very, very bad because I had a credit card back then. And I ran it up, and I did not have much business at that place. I went to a different one after a year and a half. But the problem was that I got so buddy-buddy with the baking mistress that I was like, can you make macarons? So she made macarons, and they were such a hit. And I would come, she would make them only like, I think once a month or something. And you know your girl got a lot of them.
Did you puke?
So she would come. So when I would come in looking for the dollar clearance chocolate croissants, she'd be like, "Caila, I'm going to be making my famous macarons. How many can I put you down for?" I'm like, "Oh no, why are you looking at me like that?" One day she just came to me and she was like, "Caila, so good to see you. I have new surprise for you. You know those macarons you like so much? I make giant one." And I'm like,
my God.
No!
Oh god.
Hamburger
The
style.
thing was this woman liked to put seasonal berries on the outside of the cream, which made them more desirable.
Oh boy.
So a giant one was like $5, and it was one of those ones that you could share with maybe like 2 or 3 people.
Holy.
I ate it all by myself. And I regretted nothing.
That's dedication.
0 regrets.
My favorite.
Never regrets.
Awesome.
Okay, that was my funny story. I'm done.
That was a very good, funny story. Thank you.
Very nice. I remember this too.
So, on to the question about how did you end up with the look of your OC? Like, why is it a unicorn? Why are you tall? Why do you have those colors that you have? Why is your horn white?
My name is Caila, and I am a sucker for unicorns. With the traditional tail and the white horns and stuff. So my design has actually changed. I will have to show you my original one that I drew before because it was more complex, and it got to the point that when people started drawing it, it was just too complex for them. So I had to like simplify it down, and this is what I got. And I loved the long, luxurious mane, the green eyes, the eyeshadow, and the white horn. But I had to justify the white horn, right? So I put a white blaze underneath the horn. So that's why it would look like that. Because in MLP, it looks like the horns are the same color as the skin, right? But I wanted a white horn, so that's how I justified it.
Oh, so you more wanted it like the bone, like the skeleton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the size, I was like, okay, she's descended from Celestia, right? Adopted, but still. I don't know how that works, but I like it. So I just made my character very tall. I liked tall unicorns a lot. And when I was able to find Fafar from Saddle Arabia, I was like, yes, I will have tall unicorn. I also took the inspiration from one of the Arabian horses that my mother actually has on her farm. When we started our horse farm back in Ohio, Fodge was the name of our male Arabian stallion, and he was gorgeous. I never forgot him.
Arabians are gorgeous.
My mother eventually had to sell him and let him go because he would freak out every time a plastic bag would come across his path. So he was transported to a horse farm where he lived out the rest of his years in peace. Nobody needed to ride him or anything. He just did what he wanted to. He got fat and he eventually died. But I loved Fodge. He was the best. So I based some of the design off of Fodge's color. Yes, Aeon, I'm so sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I'm saying that's not a bad way to go. Just doing whatever you want.
That is the best way a horse can go, honestly.
Yeah. I was about to say, that sounds like a happy life.
I was going to say, some of the premium meat animals, like Kobe beef especially, or Iberian pork, those animals live, like, really good lives.
There's one thing I gotta say about Kobe beef. I done some research on it because my dearest really wanted to try Kobe beef when we were having our honeymoon. But the thing is, they you know the nose ring in the bull? It's a really sensitive place for the bull, so it actually hurts if you drag in it. And that's why they usually have it on the bulls when they are work animals. The way they get them to drink the beer is dragging that ring up and putting the bottle in their mouth and forcing them to drink it. I thought they were just in a bucket and they could drink it whenever they wanted to. But sadly, no. So I'm just... Sadly, they have it good, yes. But I don't like the forced stuffy. But they have it a lot better than a lot of other meat animals. Sorry.
Or like cows in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a metaphor in some circles, like just to have a life as good as a cow in India, just because like their perspective is that the cow has more right to be there than you do. So even if it's laying in the middle of the freeway, you kind of have to let it be there.
Yep. Oh, if you have you guys heard of Fluffy, the comedian?
Yes.
Yes, he has been to India, and they were driving late to an airport, and he just told the taxi driver to just go, no matter what you do, go. We need to get to the airport. So he is like bunning through metal to the pedal, all the way through all the streets, not looking to the left or right, don't caring about the red lights, don't caring about the dead men in the road, driving over him, ba-dunk-dunk. But then suddenly a cow walks into the road and he hits the brakes and takes out his phone and starts tweeting, "Cow in the road." So it doesn't stop for dead people, but stop for cow.
Yep. Well, they believe that the cows, if I remember correctly, are like the reincarnations of either gods or dead people. I can't remember which.
I think it's
the cows are sacred. You place laurels on them and then you feed them leftover veggies.
Yeah, like it's believed that if you live a really good, I'm told it's believed that if you live a really good life, you'll reincarnate into one.
Well, let's hope you reincarnate in India and not in America, where you end up with a lot of bad stuff to you, especially if you're female.
Oh,
sorry. We had a question. Let's take that instead of me bringing everything.
We've had a few questions actually.
Yeah. Noah021. A question for everyone. What is your favorite Disney sequel? And
sequel.
Yeah, Disney sequel, like number 2. And My Little Pony character. And a question. Okay, there's a. Okay,
there's a lot in there.
Yeah, we start with favorite Disney sequel. My favorite Disney sequel is Bambi 2 because I love Bambi.
Simba's Pride.
That's a good one. I was gonna say that. You stole it.
Kovu forever, man.
Kovu, yes.
I have the best answer.
No.
And that's just
Empire Strikes
how I
Back.
feel.
I'm technically right.
Fair
You
enough.
going for
Got
the
him.
Star Wars fandom?
Of course he is. What do you expect?
I mean,
I love Star Wars.
they own Star Wars now.
They
That's
own
fair.
everything now.
Well,
Almost.
Remember, the alien is technically a Disney princess.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the alien queen from the second movie.
Bliss,
Yes.
you need to draw the alien in a princess dress.
Oh my
I'm sure it's been done.
He's going to hate me for having said that.
Oh
my
no.
Bliss?
gosh. Oh, that's amazing.
All
All
right.
right,
What
My
was the
Little
next?
Pony character.
Sakura.
Oh, you gotta go for one of the background secondary characters.
But she is
That's
my
awesome.
favorite.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love Sakura too, but I also love that pony that showed up for like one episode and she was India-based, like Masala or something.
Oh, Masala
Yeah,
is
Masala.
great.
Oh,
Yes,
I love
I love
her.
her.
But if I had to pick one of the main six, I'd say Applejack forever, man.
Yeah.
I like apples.
apples.
She's cute.
Buy some apples.
And
Okay, so
Of course, now
if we're going
I'm starting
background,
with this weird
huh.
spot incident. Now I don't even
probably Vinyl Scratch, and it's mostly memory association when I say that because when I listen to a lot of pony music, it frequently had Vinyl Scratch in it, and it usually was like happy hardcore stuff, so I associate that with a good time, which is nice. But as main six, it was consistently Fluttershy a lot. I just like the kindness virtue a lot too. It's nice and very warm and very sweet.
so
What
if
about
we're
you,
talking, main six, I love Twilight Sparkle, even though I associate myself a lot more with Pinkie Pie.
I associate myself with Twilight, but prefer Fluttershy, so I get you.
I associate myself with Applejack.
You like apples.
I will run myself
Apples.
into the ground given a chance.
Now I'm
I am
gonna
a hard worker.
Please don't, though. Please
Nah.
don't.
Yeah, please don't.
now I'm gonna tell you
Um,
that we have a lot of apples and plum trees here on my farm.
Why are
Ooh.
you killing me, Chris? Why are you killing me?
He wants you to visit.
Not fair.
Aw,
Buy some apples.
What?
some apples.
Okay, sorry, Aeon.
Gasky.
Hmm?
Secondary
Oh.
character.
Secondary characters. I mean, I guess she's actually part of the main cast, but I mean, up until believe it was the 5th season, 6th season, Twilight Sparkle was my favorite. But then Starlight Glimmer arrived and blew her out of
Yes.
the water. She's just
Same
such a
lamp.
great character.
No, I do
absolutely
actually
love her.
switch my answer because because we talked about this before. We have talked about this before.
I know.
Yes,
I love-
yes,
I
we
love
have.
Starlight,
Yeah, right.
like as a character,
Starlight is
like even as
great.
a villain and as just a member of the cast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's literally probably the most powerful unicorn in the series that we've met. Like, I mean, unicorn, not alicorn.
Yeah.
She's the most powerful one, and she can do her plan. And literally, the only way to stop it is Twilight admitting, "Yeah, I can't beat you."
Yeah, and she had
Yeah.
to talk sense into her, like, this doesn't
Go.
actually work.
Well,
like, see,
I also-
you're gonna bring the whole world to destruction.
Well, and on top of that, she wasn't like just something that you could depersonalize, like because if the sort of enemy that you're talking about is something monstrous, it's really easy to like depersonalize yourself from it. But she's also a pony, so they can't exactly do that.
I think it was one of the first ones where we actually felt threatened by a pony character. Like Flim and Flam were antagonists; they weren't really a threat.
No,
Yeah, and they
were
had
no
to add-
threat.
They had to add like
Speak
extra
for
villain.
yourself. They
They
almost
had to add, like,
ruined the
extra-
apple.
Wait. What was that?
They had
Listen,
to add like
speak-
they
Aeon,
had to
go
add
on.
like extra like villainy to them
Mhm.
because at least when they first appeared, they weren't really villains. They just offered a challenge.
And
the
Apple
Apple
Bloom
family-
accepted.
Yeah, so they weren't really. It would be a stretch to call them villains. And they made them into villains and con men later, but in their initial appearance, they weren't.
Right. Like they
Yeah.
they actually won legitimately.
Well, they didn't because they speeded up.
Yeah, but here's the thing, the Apple family sort of cheated by inviting all their friends over.
No, they asked first, and they were
Right.
allowed by the judges and by the Flim and Flam. So in my eyes, I see that as okay.
Right, and that's the whole point of the thing. But like everyone says, oh, they cheated and stuff. It's like, no, they didn't really. They just made a bad decision. They went for speed over quality, which was the whole point.
Yeah. And they
But
had
the
a
whole
machine.
thing is that they were in the right, that the Apple family could have benefited from the machine. So the whole theory of the episode doesn't make sense. But anyway, I'm getting into rambling territory.
Rambling is
Favorite
good.
background favorite background pony, Derpy. Hands down.
Aw.
She's good too. I gotta say, if I have to choose a pony, I'm weird. I would actually say Granny Smith.
That's awesome though. She's a
She's
lovely old
cute.
character.
Granny's awesome.
Granny is awesome.
It's
She
I
is.
don't know why, but it's like she has those moments. She like shows so many different aspects of being old, but still kinda still in your mind. Like she still is
Yeah.
there, you can say. So I don't know. I think it's nice to see all the different sides of being old and how well she portrays it, shows it.
Portrays
Yeah.
Portrays is good.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And then Equestria Girl's song and character.
I am
Honestly,
you first.
no, go ahead.
No, I have no idea. I need to Google.
I can't remember any of the songs, but I still go with Applejack as far as Equestria Girls.
I
Or
need to
Spike, because
Google.
Puppy.
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 Thing is, at BronyCon, when they were singing the Equestria Girls songs, I was surprised at how many I actually knew.
Ooh.
I do love Welcome to the Show. I like a lot of them from the second movie and on. There's actually some really good ones.
I believe you, I just can't remember any right now.
There's Battle of the Bands, Under Our Spell. Welcome to the Show is a really good one. My Past Is Not Today, Friendship Through the Ages is amazing. Life is a Runway is a banger.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
on the
gonna
other
change my
s-
answer and say
I'm back.
Under My Spell is my favorite Equestria Girls
It is
song.
a good one.
Because I
Oh,
do
so-
remember that one. It was dope.
What did we ask again?
The question
favorite-
is your favorite Equestria Girl song and character.
Okay. Also, did I miss any other questions?
No,
I think that's the one you came back to.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, I did not hear you leave.
Oh no, you're good.
How dare you leave us?
Eh.
I had to clean something. No, something spilled.
No.
But yeah,
I'm just kidding.
no, you're good, sweetie. Thank you for catching me up, though. Whose turn is it to answer?
It
Or
is
is it
It
mine?
can be yours.
Oh, okay. I actually do like Sunset Shimmer. Just starting from the second movie onward, I actually do really like her. Favorite song, even if it is just a rewrite of that Apple Family song, I actually like the Legend of Everfree song the best.
Okay.
Because I think it also sounds better than the Apple Family song, in
That's
my
fair.
opinion.
Wait, better. You're talking about like Apples Forever?
Apples to the Core, that was it.
Apples to the Core, that's the one.
Apples to the Core, that's from the series. That's not from
Yeah.
Equestria
No, he's
Girls.
saying that-
What we're saying is, if you listen to Legend of Everfree's intro song, it literally is the same notes as,
Mhm.
or it's basically the same song with different instruments and different lyrics, basically.
Ah, okay.
Like, for anyone who's curious, play them both side by side or one after the other, and you'll totally hear it.
All right. So, what other questions are there?
Yeah,
There was
because-
another one in his bunch, wasn't there?
Yeah.
No,
huge.
that was basically it. I think.
Where
Yeah,
did my stuff
You were
go?
right.
Yeah, question,
Yeah.
song, and character. Okay.
And then Kachanka gets her new name.
Oh my god!
It's
I
gonna
will never live these down. Never.
Well, I
Wait.
mean, Chris is still known as the Amazon Pwn, so yeah.
Ofta.
Wait,
So
wait, did someone just call you Kachunka?
Yes,
Yes.
Kachanka in the chat.
Oh my
they call her
God.
Kachanka. So that is her name
God.
from now on.
No.
Yes.
Reject this.
Thank you, Orsk.
Oh my gosh. I don't think we
Yeah,
have any other
thank you.
questions
We have
besides
one.
that looking through the chat.
We have
Oh.
question. What is your favorite student 6? Mine is Yona. Yona is best student 6. I'm sorry.
Yona is baby.
Yona is good. Yona
Yona is baby.
Yona is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I do love
she is
her.
precious.
And especially how you're able to get more about the yaks through her.
Woo!
Like before that, yaks were like, oh, yaks always crash everything. They're so stupid. Yaks are like bulky and annoying. And it's just like, no, they have a philosophy, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and though to be honest, as much as I love her, I also love Ocellus because she's just so adorable.
Amazing. She's so adorable. Also,
She's
that's
so
interesting because I still suspect that they were stand-in for a trans character, because at the end of the series, I believe I've spoken to you about this, Aeon, they're bulkier. Like, than a traditional female one. Ocellus.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh,
Maybe, like,
that is
I
good.
have to go back and like look. Yeah, I have to go back and check that too, because that's like something that sounds like a rewind bonus if I can catch it.
Yeah, it's in the song, in the final song, right before you see what's her name? Ember? No, not Ember. Scorch, something like that. Who's the
all
dragon?
good. Dragon princess, right?
No, not the dragon princess. The dragon student 6.
Smolder.
Smolder. that's the one.
Smolder, yeah.
Yeah, so right before you see Smolder drinking tea, the one who brings it to her is Ocellus.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Rotwick. And yeah, a question that we were talking about earlier comes up now from Magical Starflash. I kind of have a question for Aeon. Feel free to ignore. How do you have a girlfriend and a lover? Is it a poly relationship? Honestly curious.
It kind of is. Like, my relationship to polyamory, so to speak, is kind of weird and a bit complicated. But, yeah, for those who don't know, Caila is my girlfriend, and I view Dusk as a lover. Hello. And for the most part, with me and Dusk, is that we want to meet each other in real life again before we think about anything new. But it is it is a poly relationship. That's the short answer. My view of what poly is and like how it's supposed to work is probably a lot different than a few other people's
Ideas.
I mean, yeah, like, or just how you view it, because you have to set it up a particular way, and I know it's like a few styles of it, and like certain styles don't really work. Other times, there are certain important things that some people like just kind of know, and others don't consider.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are actually pretty important too. Yeah, it's So I'll say shorthand yes, but just keep in mind that polyamory is there's a lot of semantic wordplay in it. So what a good one looks like, or what it's supposed to look like, is going to vary depending on who you ask.
It is
their own
complex.
interpretation. Just like any relationship is.
Oh yeah, any relationship is, but especially poly, because there's more people involved, and how you're supposed to interact with your like circle can has an extremely wide range of variance, and like it also can impact whether or not it's like a healthy thing to do it that way. Like, because there are certain styles I've noticed that are like way more open to like just like damaging aspects that they don't seem to have considered. Others seem to be a lot more stable. Then you also have to wonder like why you're going into it. Like, some people I don't think have the best reasons to go into it. Others, I know this might be a controversial statement, but some of them seem to do it for the fad. Yeah, no, sorry for the mini rant on polyamory,
Not
but
a mini rant. You were
I suppose.
addressing the question.
I mean, sure.
in your own way.
Okay.
I suppose, yeah.
And this is something that people might be curious about. Like, I myself is like, well, as far as I know, and as far as I know from a normal or just two people type of relationship, communication and honesty and trust is something that's very important. And I can only imagine that that is just as important or more important when there are multiple people in our relationship, especially if, like, as far as I know, Dusk and Rose are not in a relationship, but they both are in a relationship with you.
Yeah, that's one. I tend to notice the most stable ones tend to be ones where there's somewhere that are like everyone has to be dating each other. Like I know a few people who do it that way.
That just seems boring to me, though.
I mean, I can
That
understand it, though, because that one is the most secure, I would say. Because in the other one where if you cast too wide a net and they like, especially if they like completely don't know each other, sometimes you have to watch out for like bad actors.
I'm sorry.
You might get caught up if there's too many of them, or do you treat everyone like do you treat everyone the same, or do you have like a primary secondary thing going on? And like how are they supposed to interact with each other if like multiples are in the same room? There's like a lot more that goes into it than that, and admittedly there are more avenues with which to mess it up. But so long as you like usually define this stuff very early on, you'll be fine. Also, yeah, sorry if you can hear Blissey. She's giggling in the background. She's on another call. My apologies for that.
It just means she's having fun too, and that's good.
Yeah. Not everyone has to date each other in a polyamorous relationship. The way it works so well for Aeon is that all of us know each other. We respect one another, and in that respect and knowledge that we're all together with Aeon, we try to be friends with one another so we can all look after one another. Dusk and I are not dating, but we are very good friends and we respect each other highly.
Yeah,
Heck, I'm friends with
how
the
it works.
Yeah, I'm friends with her fiance too. Or I'm
oh
Katie.
My goodness. Sori is so lovable.
Sori is adorable.
And she's precious.
It's kind of a priority anytime I'm in a polyamorous relationship that the other person has to respect Sori. And if they don't, they do get kicked to the curb. I can count on one hand the amount of relationships that I have been in a polyamorous relationship where they have not respected Sori and I have kicked them to the curb.
Well,
so it is very important.
She's your fiance. I mean, in terms of hierarchy, you have to respect each other. Otherwise, it's not going to work, because then it's sort of insulting to the person that you do want to be with.
Yeah, that's kind of the point, and that's why I'm of the opinion that if you have primaries and secondaries, then the primary is the one who should get your most respect, even if, yeah, as a secondary, it's like not going to be like, you're not going to be as well off as like the primary. The reason why is because at the end of the day, you might have multiple partners, but you kind of want something to materialize out of that. And it doesn't help you if you're just a secondary to a lot of people, and then you want to move, or your life has to go on, and then you end up being alone. You also need to make sure that if you're going in, that you actually want the idea of, like, first off, do any of these relationships have a future? Because I know some people, when they first get into it, it almost comes off to them almost on the outside like they're just enjoying like a fad, even if they won't acknowledge it at the time. And then it's just like they get into all these relationships and then, or agree to them almost rapid fire at first, but then at the end of the day, they don't have plans for any of these people. It's like, then why are you promising a relationship with a person that you don't have a future with?
Hearts are not fads to be played with.
Correct. Yeah, so something you got to keep in mind is, are you really poly, or do you just want an open relationship and to get around, if you know what I mean? Because if that's all you want, then don't try and be poly, just try being open.
Yeah, because that's also one of the things that I thought a little bit about, since you guys are the first, or yeah, you are the first, like, I didn't know about another friend of mine that actually had this type of relationship, but I didn't learn that until after I learned about Aeon and you guys. So that was the question you just answered, like, how do you take this type of relationship when it comes to you're getting older, you might want to get married, you might want to have kids, but for me, I'm kind of wondering, like, is the kids maybe learn about that after they've hit puberty and stuff, or are you, like, I don't know how it would work, because most
I suppose
states,
you can. Oh, sorry.
most states
Oh, no,
you can just be most states, as far as I know, you can only be married to one person.
Yeah, like there are some ways that you can technically have a poly relationship, like, or poly marriage, but I would still then recommend that, like, if you decide to go into it, that you have a sort of policy of this: I have this one person and we're mutually each other's primary, and everyone else is just kind of secondary. And yeah, that means that usually the primary can overrule any of the secondaries or something, but they kind of know that going in. Like, so for instance, with Caila, I would be considered like a secondary because she's getting married to Katie. So we're both in a relationship with her, but Katie would be able to overrule me on a lot of things and gets priority. So you have to keep in mind that, like, yeah, it could be like that, but it could be like that. You might want to find a primary who actually does follow you about in life, and if you decide that you do want kids, then make sure you have it with the person who is your primary, because they're the one that you decide to live with. And even then, I'm still figuring out myself about it, because there are still times I doubt I like it, but then other times I kind of doubt it, because I have had really good moments in polyamorous relationships, but I've also been horribly burnt by it.
Yeah. But when it comes to the kids, I feel like it's always important to be honest and upfront. They may not fully understand it at first, but being honest with them is very important. And if they need more clarification when they get older, when their minds have fully more developed, then yeah, you can go more in depth, but be honest and keep it simple when they're young.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty and communication are the best ways that this kind of relationship is going to work.
And it works, and it does work even better, though, if the people that you're in partnership with are talking to each other. Because sometimes it can be a little bit uneasy if you just run off with someone else. And there are many people who will look at you wrongly, because being polyamorous doesn't mean that you're on the table and anyone can go after you, per se. Or it's similar to a monogamous one. You have to obviously do it all correctly. And just because they're in it doesn't mean that they're available.
Yes.
I've noticed that in some areas too. But yeah, don't do any. You would get, like, kind of dirty looks if you, like, just ran off and got another partner with someone that your partners don't speak to, because it's kind of like,
Rude.
yeah, you technically can have multiple partners in this situation, at least on paper, but you're supposed to communicate that with whoever your primary is, because some people might legit look at that as like a backstab, even though you technically have permission to date someone. You still have to be honest with whoever you're with.
Like, let them know before you find another one, basically. Or like, hey, this person is interesting, I kind of want to date them, or something.
Yeah, or I've noticed some people make mistakes where they kind of just want, for lack of a better way of putting it, they want a night in bed with the person rather than a relationship, but they'll still grant them a relationship because they don't know what they're doing. And then a few years later, they're like, oh, crap, I've started a relationship with this person, and all I wanted was a fun night. And yeah, it can get, you still have to use it responsibly, because some people just kind of jump into it and then they do all this stuff because they can, and then they realize later, oh no, that's not what I actually wanted. And then you realize that you've jumped into too many things, and it can be a bit of a mess, just as a cautionary thing.
So all of you are in a unique situation when it comes to this specific poly relationship. Do you guys have any advice for people who think this is something for them, and for people who are in this type of relationship? Like something you would wish you would know when you were new to this, or the first time you entered this type of relationship.
May I go first?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. First is, it's alright to still be figuring yourself out while doing it, because I'm kind of still figuring out what I want in a relationship too. There are heavy things to consider, so don't be afraid to try it out. Just if you have thoughts like that, or you are still figuring yourself out, be honest with your partners about it, because they'll probably still want to support you anyway. Or at least help you out. And thank you for that, by the way.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, also don't fall for the trap of, oh, well, I can do stuff with whoever I want now, and then just get like 5 new partners, and then you realize, oh no, you got a problem later, and you might have an emotional mess on your hands. You should also be thinking like about certain things like, okay, well, what do I? Because like I'm an advocate for the whole have a primary and then everyone else a secondary kind of approach, which some people might disagree with, and that's fine. You can investigate their opinions too. But you might want to define, okay, what does my primary get to so that they know they're extra special and they can stay with me, kind of thing. Yeah, and you need pretty good communication. It's probably good that your partners communicate too. Only decide to have a partner if there's going to be at least some sort of like desired future with that person in some way, like because otherwise if you just want to again have fun nights with consenting friends, don't try and go the poly approach, even if it's trendy. Just be open, but otherwise have those considerations in mind. And if you're curious about polyamory but you're not sure, imagine you might want to have little thought experiments in your head too. Like, okay, imagine you found a really awesome partner that you really love. It's like, would you be okay if they had one too? Because you might also need to know that like don't do one-sided poly, because that's
a way to disaster.
Well, it's one of those things, but it's like it doesn't look good either. Like, because it kind of makes it feel like one partner is allowed to do anything with anyone and that you're stuck with them. That doesn't really come off as fair on paper. And some people might give you a bit of a look for it.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Agreed.
So, Rose, you're also in a poly, but you have the primary, which is your fiance. What kind of advice, or what would have liked to know before, when you started or entered something like this, before you knew it?
My fiance and I established from the very beginning of our relationship 10 years ago that she wanted to be poly, and she explained to me what that was, because I didn't even know that was an option. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a way for her to be able to get her feet wet in different relationships and figure out who she is. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So long as, like, now that we're official, you know where your loyalties lie. Eventually, I got into the same position. So before I even got another partner, I revisited the subject with her and hammered out the details as to what this means. How do I make her feel more secure with the relationship? And what are the concrete no's and yeses of this type of relationship? And that is how many of the people I was poly with got kicked to the curb, because not only did they disrespect Catherine, they tried to steal me away from where my loyalties lie. So that is a no-no.
Yeah, beware of home wreckers, I'll say that.
If you are trying to be in a polyamorous relationship and the other person has been very honest and upfront with you where their loyalties lie, do not be a jerk and try to rip them away from where their primary loyalties lie. Like, that's just so rude. That's up to them to decide. You have no right to give them ultimatums like that. That's not fair. If you are not okay being the secondary in a relationship, have the galls to say so and move on.
Or at least don't. I would recommend, if you're determined to be monogamous, you might not. Don't jump into a poly relationship expecting the person to convert. Or yeah, like, or there's some people where it's a very peculiar situation where I've seen poly relationships where the one partner would suddenly not be okay with it, but they knew that they entered a poly relationship. Which, you know, kind of makes me wonder what the plan was. Which is, again, don't start a relationship unless you know there's like any monogamous relationship. It's like, why would you start a relationship with someone if you don't have a future with them? Yeah. Oh, can I add one thing, because you talking about Katie brought this up.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with Katie, another nice thing is that if you're wondering, one nice advantage is that if you have a partner and you want to talk to one of their metamors, so a metamor is an interesting idea. It's basically Dusk and Caila are metamors because they're both dating me, but they're not in a relationship themselves. So they refer to each other as like metamors. It's good to talk to other metamors if you want to know more about your partner, because like Katie has helped me out with talking with or about Caila like a million times. So me and Katie are actually really get along, and we do enjoy each other's company. So if I need help like figuring out something about Caila, or if I did something wrong and need a mediator, then Katie is there. But because there's a level of trust and we like each other, she actually is legit. She actually does legitimately help me out to like act, so that there's actually like a good outcome and stuff, mutually good outcome.
And then I will reach around when Dusk needs advice about Aeon and give him as much information as I have, because I've been around him since 2018. I might have a little more information that could benefit her.
And I highly appreciate it, since you give me good advice as well.
Oh, goodness. You're always welcome.
You guys are amazing. I love all of you.
You got a good batch.
Yeah.
I do. And then I have awesome friends like Chris, too. And Bussy. And Snugglesy, too. And Rose, too.
Yeah.
I'm a snuggle, y'all.
Dusk, you are, you don't have another, that you're in a relationship. You're only in a relationship with Aeon, but...
That is correct.
Are you also, like, open to meeting others, or for now you are happy with just Aeon? Like,
at the moment, I'm quite happy where I am. I mean, it's, let's see, no swear words. It's very hard to meet people in a current pandemic.
Of course, but it was more like your situation is that you are in a poly, but you only have one partner, and like, what is your advice to someone, or what is your, what do you wish you would know when you started?
I'm sort of learning this on the fly. I mean, poly relationships haven't really been a part of my culture for the last 500 years, but I mean, they were there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And most of what I know actually comes from experiences. Some of them didn't go the most well. Like, I learned a lot from them. But that's why my actual usual statement about poly is, it's fun if you're willing to do it, and you have the psychology. You might say the psychology for it. But at the same time, I also, if people are only just curious about dabbling in it, I would actually not recommend it, because of just the intricacy involved to make it work.
If you don't know how to be a mature adult, don't do it.
Yeah, so this is not for like hormonal teenagers. This is more like
No.
hit above 25-ish.
No.
Yeah, no, this is for people looking for an actual relationship in life. They're not like this isn't something.
This is not a fad.
Yeah, this isn't a fad. I mean, it's okay if you want to try something and then it doesn't work out, but like give it your all. This is like people's hearts that you're talking about.
I feel like if you're trying to feel out for what you want in the world, you don't have to put yourself in a poly relationship or in a monogamous relationship with an open relationship. You can have the option of just being single and dating around and being with these other people without being official until you decide whether you want to be official with somebody or not. You do not have to be with just one person when you're trying to figure out and be in a relationship. Before you go official, you can go and spread your tendrils in different areas with different people.
I know.
There's the mental
Tendrils.
But now, like, me and Bread Idea kind of have a name for that. We call it lovers without commitment, where you feel like you're more than just friends, but you're not in any committed relationship.
Okay. Yeah, like AJ said in one of the comments, the one where they're all not lovers, a bit to get my head around. But then again, recently, as far as I know, you talked about that when I first met you, AJ, and that's over 2 years ago. But he said, recently being in sort of, safe for Chris, friends with benefit. I don't know how you can be safe for Chris, friends with benefit, because that doesn't sound safe for Chris, but okay.
It is not, but he's saying that the best way he can describe it that is still safe for Chris is friends with benefits.
Okay.
There is another term he could use which would not be safe for Chris.
Yeah. Type of relationship with somebody who has a boyfriend and are okay with it, and it is something to adjust to and learn what boundaries are okay, but more than worth it to try out. So it was so friends with benefits on the side of a boyfriend. That is not necessarily poly, or is that?
It could be. Well, it could be just an open relationship.
Okay.
So like, it is possible to be open poly, which is where you're in a polyamorous relationship that is also open. Then there's just an open relationship where you might get around, but you don't have any desire to form a relationship with the people that you stay with.
Okay.
If your relationship is just open, you're probably still monogamous and committed to one partner, but you don't mind going around,
passing through.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay. Sorry for me, like, it's still a lot for my head to get wrapped around, and I am grateful for you guys explaining everything and explaining the other things. I think it's something people need to know more about, that it's not bad, it's not nasty, it's not dirty, it's not bad. It's something that can be very supportive and loving and a good thing.
I mean,
it's a different option.
It is it's also not for everyone. Like, it's cool if you.
It really is not.
Yeah, but it helps to understand it. Like, even if you wouldn't want to do it, because I can totally understand why one would not want to as well.
Also, bye, Sight.
Bye, Final.
Bye, Sight.
Sleep well.
Like, I can think of reasons for both. It's just good to consider it. Like, A, just so that you understand what this is, and B, if you're interested, you might, just think about several, like, deep questions and other thoughts first before jumping in. Or maybe just ask a polyamorous friend that you have, like, either what's it like, or if you do have feelings for them, you might be able to ask for something. They might be up for, again, if you have a good relationship with that person and are in position to ask. But if you're going to do that, just be upfront saying, I don't know how I feel. Because, like, even I'm still figuring myself out as to whether or not I do or don't want it, or I have doubts or questions, so I think about them a lot sometimes. But all my partners know that I'm still figuring myself out. As long as they know that up front, then you're probably fine because then they understand like why you're doing it or what's it about. They'll probably answer a lot of questions for you. And odds are you probably know a lot more polyamorous people than you might think. Like we'll bump into them all the time, even in this fandom. But no, but it is otherwise really nice. And it is, and when it does work right, it does feel really, really good. Or it is a really, really nice feeling.
Okay. There's one more that I actually got a question from a Norwegian friend of mine that has started poly and knew that I knew about people that was poly. How did you type it out? So my partner, I have to translate it over to English. So my partner has recently developed I think it's called I'm not sure about the English term, but basically they get warm if they think about something. That type of thing, by thinking that they themselves, my friend who is the partner, that the partner doesn't have necessarily a relationship, but can go and be sexually intimate with others and maybe take like a photo of the action but not the faces, and that's something they want them to do because they enjoy the thought of it and the thrill of them coming back afterwards. But so my friend who is the partner would do that, but their partner would then be at home waiting for them to come home and then have intercourse.
Okay, but does the partner agree to this?
I don't know the details, but this is something he wanted me to ask about. Is this some kind of inside poly that they want them to have other sexual partners?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure if I would call that poly or not, because you can have that without it being... You can have that without it being poly, because poly implies that she has like an intimate emotional relationship to the people that she's sleeping with. Whereas if it's just an open relationship, then it's just a night of fun, and there isn't like the promise or the presence of any real like romantic relationship there.
Also, what you're talking about, Chris, whether you realize it or not, whether they realize it or not, is an actual fetish.
Ah.
It's something that there is a community of people who like doing this, and sometimes just exchanging partners is more exciting.
Ah, okay. I will let them know if they're not watching this stream.
So, as far as I don't know, I don't think it's part of a poly lifestyle. I think it's just part of that fetish lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's only really poly if the partner in question is having a relationship with these people. Mm-hmm. If they're just friends and they're just having a night of fun, then it's not. Then that isn't necessarily poly. That's just open.
Okay, so even if they were considering the new person that they find as a toy and maybe have a relationship but don't have the same type. Yeah, it would if it was kind of like one of the secondary ones. But they don't. Well, they are not in a relationship, but they still have the connection.
I mean, I don't know if I would, because it's more like, are you like officially this person's partner and like in some way like devoted to them, like in terms of like a committed relationship kind of thing.
Okay.
Because it's like, are you in multiple committed relationships is how I would define poly. If you just have like a close friend that you're doing stuff with, I would still just call that like either a friend with benefits or like something like an open relationship personally, because like there are people that even you guys would know that I have had like a night that I have actually had a night with, It's just we still don't think of ourselves as being in a relationship. That's why we use. That's why she would also fall under the category of lover without commitment, because there is something there, but we are still more committed to our other partners over us, and there really is no commitment, even though there is a sort of like love there.
Okay, thank you very much. I've written it down, so he will know.
So there is also. I can give you the name of the specific fetish.
I don't think I need.
Yeah, that's why I
figure out that themselves. Sorry.
No problem. You don't have to look it up, and I would recommend against it. But yes.
Yeah, I am fine. Yeah. AJ said something about Pokemon. I think I need a break. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Chris. Take a deep breath. There you go.
Favorite Pokemon is Alolan Raichu.
Aw, that's cute.
I have the
They
most
surf
basic.
on their tail. I'm
I have the
sorry.
most basic. No, you're good. I have the most basic one though.
Uh,
I'll choose two.
Chris.
Okay, I actually liked Pidgey because remember I like birds. But then later, my favorite
Birds.
starter in Emerald was Torchic.
That's a cute one.
Torchic! It's so cute. It's a baby phoenix.
Yeah, and then it turns into a punching thing.
I find that so weird. I feel like Torchic should have been like the
A bird?
first evolution of Moltres.
My favorites are Vulpix, Eevee, and Umbreon.
my favorite.
And Mew.
And Sylveon and Lugia for me. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is Eevee and all the evolutions, but I'm also a very big fan of some of the newer generation that looks like a chinchilla because I really like
that one.
chinchillas.
Piccolo or something like that?
I think so. I
Chicola?
like the first stage because the second stage just looks like a fashion version of the first one.
I love Poltergeist because I love tea.
That was a cute one.
No, there was another one that I really liked too that was it was from Gen 5, and I know that everyone makes fun of Gen 5 as just being household appliances with eyes stuck on them. But I actually did like the chandelier one.
Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah, they came out with like a whole bunch of ghost ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like it.
gotta say, when they made the ice cone Pokemon and the sandcastle, I was just like, guys,
Guys, please.
they're cute, but you're getting kind of lazy. Like, I can handle the keychain, I can handle the chandelier, I can handle all the other stuff, but an literary food
No,
and a
trash bag.
sandcastle,
Can we get a leg lamp Pokemon next?
one that can just follow you around whenever you need light, so you can read your book while you're walking.
Sounds like a Miyazaki
I mean,
thing.
I
Yeah.
want to know. This is like a novelty one from like, oh gosh, what is the
Oh, was that the
movie?
leg?
The
leg
leg
with the white
lamp?
one?
No,
Yes.
From the
no,
movie where
guys.
you just like, don't shoot your eye
Yeah.
out with the
Hold on,
BB
hold
gun.
Yeah.
No,
was
guys,
that,
it
Chris?
wasn't a leg.
That
It was
lamp.
actually a hand.
Wait.
It was a hand lamp
Like-
because it was
No.
jumping on his hand. Because
No.
when she leaves,
No, hold on. No,
She-
hold on. We're talking about two different lamps.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. There's the one that we were talking about with Miyazaki, which is the hand lamp, and then there's another one from a movie, which is just a leg.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
it's
sorry.
what is it, A Christmas Story?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. That one's just funny, but I'm imagining in like Pokemon Soul Silver style where, you know, your Pokemon just kind of follows you, just being followed by a leg lamp with eyes on it.
Yes.
I love Soul Silver. It's so good.
All right. Guys, I do appreciate the stream, but I need to go eat something because I haven't eaten all day because
See
I'm
you,
smart like that.
Destiny.
I will see you if you guys are still on when I am back. I
Bye,
will be back
Dusky.
on.
Yep,
How
yep.
much longer do you think you'll be on?
Well,
We
so
don't.
we are scheduled for at least 20 more minutes, but if we feel
Ah.
like it, we can continue. I'm
Nah,
not
I'll say my
sleepy yet.
goodbyes now, but if I come back, great. If not, have a good night, guys.
Okay, you too.
Bye, Dusky.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, Aeon.
Sleep
Love you.
well. Bon
Destiny.
appetit.
Cheers.
And then number 3.
Dun dun dun. Run for your lives. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
But yes, did you have any more curiosities? I know we just answered a Pokemon question. Any more poly curiosity questions yourself, Chris? Because yeah, me and Rose is more experienced than me, but me and my girlfriend will be happy to answer. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's more like this is something I think people should know about. Is there some aspects of this type of relationship that to be honest, I don't know, since I don't know much about it except what you all guys just told me right now. It's more like what's the biggest red flag except for not respecting the primary of the poly relationship? Is there any other big red flags, or is there any red flags if somebody is in a poly relationship that you guys would like people to know about so that they don't burn themselves?
I got a story for you, but it kind of also like it also reflects into the same category of not respecting the primary. So I had a partner one time who was female that took me to NakaCon, which is my local convention in Kansas City, and we were dressed up as Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus, right? Well, we took our wigs off because it was so itchy, and we went to the charity ball, right? This girl gets down on one knee in front of everyone, pops out a pearl ring.
Oido.
And she was like, I know it's not on paper, but I want you to be my forever partner. And I just looked around and everyone was staring at us. It was the most uncomfortable thing I have ever experienced in my life. And somebody came up to me and was like, dude, she's proposing. And I'm like, I already have a fiance. Like, what are you talking about?
Oops.
It was so awkward. I had to say yes just to get her off the dance floor and then tell her later, that was not cool. That was not cool. And then after the con was over, I dumped her.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't do that. Don't do that to anyone unless you know the partner's going to be okay with that. But that is like a terrible blow. Oh my gosh. It was awful. You know, she had the nerve to contact me a couple years later and been like, do you want to be friends again? And I'm like, never.
Like, nope.
Nope.
Access denied.
Right. User has been blocked from your channel.
This person has blocked you on Twitter. You cannot
They
communicate.
found me on TikTok recently, and I was like, no!
Oh boy.
Go away.
I think I would have one where it's like if it's because this is another thing to consider too. Another thing to ask yourself is, would you still like poly if it didn't go your way? Because that's also another important thing to think about. Because some people are okay with poly unless they get into a situation of like, oh well, it's all right if I have multiple partners, but the moment you get one, even though you were allowed to, then suddenly they get all insecure about it.
Oh Lord.
Because I'm certain a lot of people would know a story like that, but sorry, I'm just recollecting my train of thought.
Take your time.
Yeah, you need to be aware and alert for situations where either they only care about one side of success, or if suddenly you get attention and then it like bothers them, then you might want to be wary of that person, because everything, because for them everything was only fine and good when they had all the partners and they just knew that they didn't have to worry about you. But especially if they get lost in the other partner and in their other partners and then get upset when someone finds you, it's like, well, you should have considered that. You also shouldn't be neglecting your primary like that. Or speaking of that, if you're in a poly relationship and you're supposed to be the primary or even one of the secondaries, but you notice that you're not getting treated nearly as well as the others and it never really improves, then that's a good indicator that you should probably leave.
Yeah.
Like bring it up with that person for sure. But if there's no improvement or it takes way too long to get some improvement, then yeah, don't. I would personally say don't bother.
Okay.
Because if you're the primary, you know, that still has to mean something. If you just treat them the same as everyone else, then it's like, okay, yeah, sure, you may not step on any toes, but that also means like technically everyone else has someone and you technically don't.
Okay.
Guys, treat them like a king or queen.
Yeah. So, this might be an odd question, but when did you realize that poly was something for you?
You go first.
Okay. I tried it with... Well, I tried just being open with my first girlfriend because me and her are kind of, for the most PG term, promiscuous, but we lived in 2 different countries. So we thought, we do want to be in a relationship with each other because we like each other, but we wouldn't become monogamous, which was what I had back at the time, or what I was thinking about back at the time, at least, until we were actually, like, physically together. So we just thought, okay, well, while we're separated, then that's probably fine. But I didn't go into, like, full-on attempting polyamory until I proposed with my second girlfriend. I do know that there was a time Bliss. I do know that there is a bit of a there was a bit of a thing with me where I had a couple partners. I think at the most partners I ever had, because oh yeah, this is another thing too. How many partners do you plan on having, or how many partners do you know that you can actually like handle? Because you still have to be like, just like in any relationship, you still kind of have to be there for them, you know? So another thing to ask is how many partners can you have? Because I know like I did go a little bit nuts because this is going to sound like a lot, but and I'm not trying to brag when I say this, but the most I ever had at one time was 4, which I'm like, okay, pulling it back. Because you know, you can't just have them to have them. You have to like have a relationship, you know.
Yeah, take care, listen to, get to know, and give attention to.
Yeah, and that one basically. No, I don't have nearly as many partners now, and I'm only still dating one of them. Hello, Caila. That one actually went apart fairly easily and painlessly, just because of things that people found out. But even I was just like, oh, you know, past a certain number, you have to really think like, can I actually be in a relationship with this many people and still balance out the rest of my life, kind of thing.
I learned really fast that my attention span only goes to 2 people, so I only have 2 partners at a time.
I'm just gonna say, I don't think I'll shoot for 4 partners. Like, even though that was actually not a bad experience, I don't think I'd want to shoot for 4 partners again.
Mac Daddy over here.
Yeah. I swear I'm not trying to flex when I say that. If I wanted to flex, I would add like how many people still kept asking me, but I am not guest star.
Oh my goodness. Where is the hubris?
I'm just sorry. It's just like when she says Mac Dad, I just started imagining like a McDonald's menu, and I was like,
hello everyone, I am Mick Daddy.
I want a McFlurry now. Thanks.
It's like you have the coffee and a giant like soda of your choice, and then you have like the biggest, meatiest, juicy dripping hamburger and like 18 McNuggets and the biggest fry with cheese and bacon, and on the top of that you also have like 3 muffins or something.
I really wish that our burgers from McDonald's were juicy and dripping, but they're like so not that.
No, you just go
If
to
you
a
want a
real
juicy
burger place.
dripping burger, you go to Five Guys and get some Cajun
Yes.
fries.
Yeah.
Five Guys. Yeah, I can list a million restaurants like that, but yeah, no, I get you.
You have a Five Guys that's like directly connected to a Baskin Robbins. No lie.
Oh,
Sadly, we
There we
don't
go.
have that type of stuff in Norway. We have Burger King, McDonald's, and we have very few Olive Gardens, and we have normal restaurants. But other than that, we have something called the Pizza Baker, which is a Norwegian brand of pizza makers, which tastes really, really good. We tried to have Domino's, but they kind of went bonkers. No, couldn't make enough money because all the money went to the pizza baker because that was better pizza. I don't know what bankrupt. Yeah, bankrupt. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
back. Oh, go on.
no,
sorry.
you're good. We're all being awkward penguins again. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Quick.
Squeak.
Basically, it's just I'm amazed how many different fast foods America has when there are so few here in Norway. And now I have to find a penguin picture.
I know that one of the things that pushed that forward was in the I've used the old U.S. highway system before.
What?
And most people don't even bother using it unless you live
I was
off
paying
of it.
attention. He's in a
But
store.
what happened in the States and why fast food became popular was that in 1956 we signed the Interstate Act. So we built these giant Pan-American highway interstates.
K-R-I-Z.
Like it's socially awkward penguins, yay.
Like, freaking there, so there's not.
So what happened was from that it started a huge road trip culture in the United States. And this saw the rise of things like motels, more hotels popped up, and you had a lot of fast food restaurants because a lot of these people, when they were traveling through the middle of nowhere, they need a place to stay. So there's the motel, and you probably need a place to eat, but you're probably traveling a huge distance. So you probably don't have the time to stop the car and go into the diner. Some people do. They've probably figured, you can just eat it on the go while you're continuing to a romanticized one's drive to Yellowstone National Park or something. You probably want to keep driving instead of stopping. So here's a lot of McDonald's and fast food restaurants along the way, and then motels for when you get sleepy that are just in the middle of nowhere as a stepping stone while you're passing through Kansas to get to Yellowstone eventually.
Yeah, sorry. It's just when you're mentioning that, I'm starting to think about the long drives that I have when I wanted to visit friends other places in Norway because I can't afford airplanes, so I have to drive for 12 hours or something. So we normally don't have the luxury of a motel or drive-in hotel, so it's either you sleep in a car or you bring a tent and you sleep in the woods. Up to you.
I mean... Yeah, the road trip culture here is definitely extremely developed because of that. Because we started paving the roads about the same time in developing cities about the time when cars came out. So the U.S. street and highway system is usually very well built with this in mind. So there's a lot more you might say there's more infrastructure devoted to allowing you to have your road trip. There's hotels everywhere. I never have to worry when I'm driving across America if I can find a place to sleep at night because there's even a town in the middle of nowhere has a place for you to stay at night.
Sounds nice.
Or you can also do what I did sometimes to save money, and that is the hospital trick.
What?
And no, it is not putting yourself,
What?
it's not putting yourself in the hospital. It's an unwritten road trip rule in the US, so just keep in mind it's an unwritten rule, but I've been able to use it multiple times. Where if you need to stop to sleep but either can't afford or can't find a hotel, more likely it's probably because you can't afford one, you can either park in a hospital parking lot, like a 24-hour hospital parking lot, and then sleep for a bit, or pretty much any church will allow you to do the same thing, so long as you're not like staying there. Like if they know you're only there to get to sleep, and then when you wake up you just leave, then they'll like security and even sometimes police will just kind of look the other way because they don't want to encourage it just for squatting reasons, but they also realize they'd rather you be sleeping in the parking lot than falling asleep at the wheel and ending up in the hospital that way. So if they discover you doing that, they might just turn look the other way and then just carry on.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah. I don't think we have any sort of specific rule when it comes to parking for night times, as long as it is a public parking. But we have that the Wanderer's Rule, which is actually a law in Norway, written law, is that people are allowed to walk around and have a tent as long as there is a certain distance from the closest house. But there is by law, you have to pick up the trash after you. But then you can sleep for free anywhere for one night and then continue on, even if it is someone's backyard. And I think that's kind of awesome.
No, that is an interesting law. Like a Swedish friend mentioned that they have a similar law to me at one point. In English, it would translate to like freedom to wander or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I forgot what the Swedish expression or term for it was, though. The U.S. interstate system has like some interesting things on it because depending on where you are in the country, there's kind of urban legends and sort of a lore about the interstate, especially if you're on it long enough, to the point where you might say in a sense that we all understand, because actually we're all witches here. Actually,
yeah.
It's very much, if you visit it, it's kind of like a crossing roads in a sense, metaphorically speaking, because the idea is it and the hospital rest stops that you can visit, which are these huge buildings that have a lot of like convenience that are just in the middle of nowhere on these highways, and they got restrooms and restaurants and like information centers and maps for sale. Well, you can go to them, and there's this lore that like you see interesting things both on the interstate and in these rest stops because you're in a place where there's so much energy and so much people coming through that it's almost like you're at a crossroads and you can see anything. So you get these amazing, sometimes even paranormal stories of like people stopping at a rest stop in the middle of nowhere at 4 in the morning and they only see like one other person. It's really cool. Or like seeing something weird on the road.
Boopy.
I say that because I am, for the chat's sake, I am an avid road tripper, and in the past 2 years, I drove across America from coast to coast twice.
Ooh, nice.
He frequently kidnaps solar flare for road trips.
Well, yeah, but I did see something that was pretty insane and very, very Texan. So I was crossing over a bridge.
Oh, boy.
Going into Texas, and I had just gotten my new car. Now, I love this because I love driving my car and just driving in general, and I love road trips. So I'm seeing all this stunning scenery going through the U.S., and I was going through New England scenery. New York scenery is gorgeous. Pennsylvania, Shenandoah in Virginia. So I'm going into Texas, and suddenly Texas is known for having like freakish thunderstorms. So I see this wall of cloud that goes from the ground all the way up into the atmosphere. And it's a giant thunderstorm that is touching the ground. So there's lightning shooting out of all of it, even close to the ground. You see like sparks fly out, and we're like straddling this highway from the side until it turns, and then we see all the cars around us just flick their lights on, and then we barrel straight into this thunderstorm at like 90 miles an hour, and lightning is striking all around you, and it is It was one of the most crazy and amazing things I've ever seen driving on the interstate.
Wow. We also have half a minute left of the 2-hour mark.
Half a minute left.
I couldn't
I will
interrupt,
raise you
sorry.
that story with the fact that I was on a red-eye flight one time during a thunderstorm, and I open the window and I see this cloud of just electricity beaming outside the window. I'm like, this is awesome. We may die, but it's beautiful.
Sounds like the mental capacity of a Viking. Just like, I'm gonna die, but it's gonna be glorious.
No, Days of Thunder was playing in my head when I was barreling through that cloud. And I think I've shown Chris that song. I know I've definitely shown you that song, Caila. It's from the Midnight.
I love Days of Thunder. It's probably my favorite song.
Hook people.
We hit the 2-hour mark. Thank you so much for being here. So you guys have the choice. Do you want to continue some more, or do you want to quit?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, we can take a 5-minute break if you want to.
I'll take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think Katie would like some time together, so...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Then I want to say thank you so much for joining, and I hope I see you guys in another stream as well.
Oh yes, of course. Oh no, Chris, I love being in these too. If you ever need,
I love
if you ever
them
need a new
too.
person to just jump on in, just hit me up, and I'll totally get back to you on that.
Thank you very much. I will keep that in my notes. Yeah. You can say your goodbyes, and then I will say mine.
Goodbye, everyone. It was
Everyone.
oh, sorry, you should go first.
That's all I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Bye, everyone. It was lovely doing this again. Love seeing y'all again, and thank you again, Chris. And good to see you again too, Caila. Even if we do see each other every day.
Thank you for having me on, Chris.
Thank you for joining, and thank you all 3 of you, even though our Dusty Westy is getting some foodie woody. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
I'm Wild Dusky.
Thank you everybody for dropping by. I want to say, I know it's a scary time and the last year was a real trial, but let's make 2021 a better year. Stay safe, stay kind, and stay brownie. Bye!
Bye.
Bye!